The celebrity game, unless you actually have, I think they should really like make an effort to bring in comedians and mic them up, because like that worked well with Kevin Hart. But if you're not going to do that, bring in, like, I think it'd be cool if you did all former players. Because one of the things that I like about those celebrity games is the former players playing, but because they know they're playing with a bunch of fucking scrubs, they don't even bother. I don't think he would ever do it, but like maybe pay them to show up, like fucking give $1 million to see 55-year-old MJ hoop. I want to see that.
Yeah.
Well, B-Ball Breakdown posted a video a few days ago with a very similar title to this one, but I can promise you that this video is very different from his, mostly because Coach Nick is significantly smarter than me. But yeah, before I start this video, there are many more like it that are going to be coming on the channel, and many more like it that are already on this channel, so if you enjoy this video, please subscribe to the channel and also drop a like on this video. Also, check out the latest episode of my podcast called The Hoopscast that I host with Mojo99. We have 3 pods posted in the last week and a half, and the most recent one was about All-Star Weekend before it actually happened. That one had some poorly aged takes that you can laugh at if you so please. Mojo's audio in this one was a little bit messed up, but he got a new mic, so we should be good from now on. But with that out of the way, well, damn. That was really good. Who was expecting that? Because I wasn't expecting that. Alright, let me be more specific. If you did what a lot of NBA fans have done in the past few years, and I have even done, and just decided to skip All-Star Weekend, you done fucked up. You fucked up pretty bad. I really don't even know how to put into words what exactly I watched on Sunday. That was seriously just not something I've seen before. If you missed it, the NBA 3-point contest was incredibly fun, came down to the final money ball from Buddy Hield, which was awesome. Then the dunk contest was the best one since 2016, after a long dry spell of some pretty mediocre to bad dunk contests. This one was great despite the horrible judges, and we will talk about that. And this All-Star game was easily the best that I've ever seen. I can't speak for the All-Star games that were pre-2013, but that was definitely the best by far that I have seen. I also can't really mention the Skills Challenge or the Rising Stars game because I didn't watch either. I only watched the Rising Stars game when a Bulls player is in it, and unfortunately Wendell Carter was hurt. But the 3-point contest, dunk contest, and All-Star game were all fantastic. And this wasn't some out of the blue, everything clicked at the right time for this all to go well type of situation. With the 3-point contest and All-Star game, a change in format made by Adam Silver and the rest of the NBA figureheads finally accomplished the feat of making these star players care about the end result of the All-Star game, and they made the 3-point contest really fun. These changes completely fix the problem with All-Star Weekend, and let's talk about how the NBA did that.
Absolutely incredibly with the acrobatic alley-oop.
Now, first of all, after the game was finished, there were a lot of people tweeting, oh, you guys need to apologize to the NBA for criticizing their new format. Because clearly they were right. And yeah, they were. However, I disagree. As someone who did not criticize these changes, unless you count utter confusion as criticism, because when I heard this initially, I was very confused. I disagree with the notion that being critical of it means you should really apologize, because that's just not how anything works. And I, like many people, even those who were critical, was just very confused by how this was explained, because it wasn't explained all that well. There were certainly people who were definitely a little too confident that this would go badly, but at the end of the day, I don't think anyone could have expected what we got on Sunday. But let's go in chronological order here. First of all, did not watch the Skills Challenge or the Celebrity Game, because they're the skills challenge and the celebrity game. It was cool that Bam won. He's probably my favorite non-scoring player that's also not a Chicago Bull in the league. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to give a shit about the skills challenge, and I missed the Rising Stars game as I explained earlier. But going in order of what I saw, the 3-point contest was great. Now, I don't think anyone had a problem with the 3-point contest previously. It's been good in the past few years, no complaints. Joe Harris last year was cool. When Clay and Curry were going at it, that was dope as hell, but it wasn't like this. This new format is awesome, and it's what allowed us to have such a great 3-point contest. With this new format, there is an additional 6 possible points with the new 2 deep balls that are worth 3 points each. There were some boomers who took issue with this, but if you do know me in this channel, you would know that I am a fan of the modern 3-point shooting game. And I think the addition of the deep ball was a great way to highlight how the game is changing. A way to highlight the increased range of the modern NBA game. So it was perfect. As you'd know if you watch this contest, it came down to just Devin Booker and Buddy Hield. After Booker put up 26 points, Buddy Hield came in after and had a very slow start, where Reggie Miller kept saying, oh, he needs this one, when he didn't, which was annoying as fuck, because Reggie Miller is a horrible commentator. But then Hield closed the gap by hitting his shots at the top of the key and from the left wing, getting him to 19 points before going to his final money ball rack. And then he did this.
Cash, money, everything.
Oh, wait. You need this?
I swear to God, if I get a copyright claim for that, I'm going to be very angry. Also, shout out to Zach LaVine for having a way better shooting night than I expected. He came in 4th when I expected him to do bad in this because I didn't think he's the type of shooter who does well in a 3-point contest situation, but he was just barely not in the second round, coming in 4th place, and he showed out for Chicago. Unfortunately, he did not do what some speculated, which is last second join the dunk contest, but this was fun too, I guess. And I guess we can use that as a segue to the dunk contest. Now, there were no new format changes that fix the dunk contest by any means, but I still want to talk about it because 1, it was a great dunk contest in terms of the actual dunks, and 2, the judging in this dunk contest highlighted an issue that I have had with not only this one, but the dunk contests of the past, and that is how they are judged. I have a good metaphor here that I think most of you will understand. Dunk contest judges are like the reviewers over at IGN. Do you guys know IGN? If you don't, IGN is clowned on for their game reviews because they give games way too high ratings. They, like the dunk contest, have a out of 10 judgment, but also like the dunk contest, you rarely see a score that is less than an 8. For an example of the ridiculousness of IGN's ratings, NBA 2K18 is ranked an 8.4. Fucking 8.4 for NBA 2K18. Now, if you are hearing that and feeling, well, insane, that's how I feel about dunk contest judgment. The amount of 50s given out in this dunk contest was ridiculous, and not in a good way, a very bad way. There should not have been as many 50s as there were. Don't get me wrong, I think the dunks in this dunk contest were awesome. Some of the best dunks we've seen in a very long time. However, with how many 50s there were, let me ask you this. Were all of those dunks equally good? Because if the answer is no, then there is a problem here. This dunk from Aaron Gordon got the same exact score as his first dunk, which was this. That is a problem. If you can look at 2 of these 50s and say that one is clearly better than the other, then the first one should not have been a 50, because that means Gordon gets the same amount of points as he did with his first dunk that was clearly inferior. There are 5 judges that each get to judge from 1 to 10. But why is it that you did not see a single dunk in this contest that got a ranking from one judge that was less than a 7? What is the point of having a 1 to 10 ranking if the lowest you are going to go is a 7? What is the goddamn point of that? A 50 dunk needs to be a dunk that is considered one of the greatest of all time. If it's not that, it's not a 50. A 50 means that 5 judges all came to the conclusion that it was a perfect dunk. A perfect dunk. Couldn't have been any better. Again, what's the point of a scale if you're not going to use it? It was pissing me off all night. It nearly ruined this dunk contest for me, despite how amazing Gordon and Derrick Jones Jr. were. And you could even tell by the end of that dunk contest that the judges caught their own mistakes. Because at the end, they gave Gordon and Derrick's last dunks below 50s, despite those dunks being better than half of the 50s that were handed out. I'm not saying those were 50s either, but because they were just handing out 50s left and right, now they have to give this dunk that's really good like a 43, because you have to end the contest. It's enraging. Here's what the scale should be. A rim grazer basic dunk is a 1. A solid but ultimately forgettable dunk is a 5. An all-time great dunk is a 10. Everything in between is in the scale between those 3 categories, and if you miss all of your attempts, you get a fucking 0. That should not be debated. It's also flat out ridiculous that Dwight got a 50 on his Superman windmill alley-oop dunk. I have seen alley-oop dunks in game 10 times as impressive as that. Anyways, that is my opinion on dunking as a man who is nearly 6'4" and cannot even touch the rim. On to the All-Star game. This was awesome. Alright, end of the video. Okay, well, actually talk about this. What I've seen a lot of people do, which is a mistake, is disregard the first 3 quarters of this game and just go straight to the 4th quarter when talking about how the new formula fixed the All-Star game. The main reason being that people really only think this format change affected the 4th quarter. But that's not true. The reason this game became great is after Team LeBron got a sizable lead after the first quarter, donating $100,000 to the charity of their choice in the process, the reason Team Giannis got over that sizable lead was the motivation to have their charity get a donation. Which is really fucked up if you think about it, because that means there was a possibility of Team LeBron winning every single quarter and then Team Giannis's charity does not make a dime. That's pretty fucked, but moving on, I guess. It was that motivation that got Team Giannis back in the game. Then going into the 4th, Team LeBron was now behind and they wanted to get that big $300K charity prize at the end, which they obviously did. Another element that I think is not mentioned enough in terms of what actually improved it, it was mentioned in terms of feel, but what actually made it better was the pickup feel of the game at the end. I think one of the main reasons it got so competitive at the end was rather than a shot clock, or a game clock rather, there was a target score. This game had the intensity of when you're playing a pickup game to 21 and the other team has 20. It had that energy and that rubbed off on the players. It's why both of these teams shot in the 30s in the 4th quarter, in the All-Star game. This change brought out the competitiveness in these guys, and the charity implications mattered for that as well. One of the main arguments that people tended to make in how to actually fix the All-Star game was to give a cash prize to the winning players, in a way to motivate them, but really money is not a huge motivator for these guys who are all multi-millionaires. What was necessary was finding a way to key in on the competitiveness of these guys, making this go from the feel of a few friends screwing around on the court to an all-out war. And the NBA hit the mark with that. Now obviously the target score thing, the way they did it was a way to pay tribute to Kobe, but I think down the line you can use this target score concept for the other All-Star games. I really think the NBA should lean all the way into the pickup game feel. Maybe make it a target score the whole way through, like the first 150 points wins. Once one team gets 75, that's when you go into halftime, something like that. And then have it be win by 2, or I guess maybe 3 because they're doing 2s and 3s here. or have no fouls. If you get a foul, you just check it up top. The closer the teams got to the target score, the more intense the game got. I just really can't even fully explain that game, man, because I was just not expecting that. I guess the best way to put this is that I have never had so much fun watching two teams of all-star players not score. Like, there was so much defense in that fourth quarter, and it was more entertaining than any high-level scoring game. The best way to put it is that this change in format brought the all-star intensity from a team scrimmage that you're not even really trying in to Game 7 of the NBA Finals. And I'm very excited to see what this looks like going forward, because the NBA took a whatever weekend where you can hopefully get a few cool memories like Dirk throwing down an alley-oop from Steph Curry, and they turned it into something that could potentially be an amazing yearly event. But that's the end of this video. Check out the latest episode of the Hoops Cast. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe, and cue the outro music.